Tulip-mania hit Amsterdam in March 1637, when the value of a single tulip bulb soared to what is the modern-day equivalent of $500,000. The bubble burst the next day, and the value of tulip bulbs suddenly fell to almost nothing. This was the first recorded bubble economy in history. Who would have thought it would have been about tulips? These flowers and the associated tulip-mania story has fascinated economists and gardeners ever since. But wait a moment. You're an entrepreneur who may be infected with tulip-mania. You think this might just be the time to invest in tulips. It might not be the soundest of financial investment decisions, but if you've got tulip-mania already, possibly others are infected too, and you want to be the first investor to ride on this economic bubble. You hear of some gardeners who are selling their gardens, but you only want to buy the ones with tulips. You have some limited information about the 5 gardens for sale, but can you work out which gardens you want to buy and who the owners are? To solve the problem, you're best to set the working out like this, and then pause the video on the screen now and don't go any further until you've had a go, because the solution will come up right after. We know from clue 7 that pears are only in gardens 1 and 5 and nowhere else. Paul in clue 8 is in garden 3, in the middle, with no lilies. Clue 12 tells us that garden 1 has apples and cherries. And it's at this point you might feel a little stuck. Right, here we go. Clue 6 tells us that one garden has 4 of the same type of crop. Clue 11 tells us that the nut grower also grows gourd and parsley. Clue 18 states that parsley is grown in only one garden. This means that the grower of clue 6 can't grow fruits, nor can he grow vegetables, so he must only grow flowers. He, the grower of 4 of a kind, can't be Hank, who doesn't grow Aster, in clue 20. It can't be Paul, for he has his 3 vegetables, in clue 21. It can't be Luke, because he has 2 kinds of fruit, as per clue 15. Can't be Sam, for he has a vegetable, in clue 14. So Zik is the flower lover. We also know that Zik is in either garden 2 or 4, because they are the only gardens without fruit or veg. Whose is garden 5? Not Sam's, he's not on a border, says clue 19, or Zik's, who is in either garden 2 or 4. And Paul is already in garden 3. Garden 1 has 3 fruits, but clue 15 says Luke has 2, so that means Luke is in garden 5. Hank, therefore, must be in garden 1 with 3 fruits. Turning back to clue 11 that links vegetables and nuts, we can see where the nuts, gourd and parsley actually go. Zik is obviously ruled out. Hank and Sam's gardens already contain 2 crops, so can't have more crops in it. Garden 3s and garden 5s are both possibilities, but which one is the only nut grower? Clue 15 tells us that Luke has 2 types of fruit. Pears are one of them. Apples are ruled out by clues 12 and 17. The 2 crops of cherries are in Hank's garden 1, and with Sam in garden 2 or 4 as per clues 12, 13 and 14, so the only other fruit Luke can have is nuts. Now we know Luke is the nut grower, so he must also have gourd and parsley as per clue 11. With parsley at position 5, this means the Zik of clue 18 has to be in garden 4, with the 4 flowers: Aster, Rose, Lily and Tulip. Clue 4 says one variety appears in 4 gardens, and so is missing only from 1. Pear in clue 7 and cherry in clue 13 have only 2 appearances each. Apple in clue 17 has only 1. Nuts is singular in clue 11. It is none of the vegetables, because there are 2 men who don't grow vegetables: Hank in clue 20 and of course Zik, the flower guy. Of the flowers, the Aster grower is singular in clue 9. We can see Luke's garden doesn't have any lilies, and nor does Paul in clue 8. Clue 16 says our tulips are only in 2 gardens. So we have deducted every crop except roses. Zik obviously has roses, and we know Luke doesn't grow them. So the gardens of Hank, Sam and Paul in gardens 1, 2 and 3 can all get roses. We know that only garden 5 has parsley as per clue 18, and that all the others are rose growers who don't grow parsley in clue 10. This means that the 3 vegetables Paul grows must be gourd, onion and carrot. Clue 14 says Sam has onions and cherries. Clue 16 says that tulips are in 2 gardens. The only garden left for the tulips that Zik doesn't have is Sam's. So that's it. We've solved the question. And we now know that you might want to invest in Sam's garden and Zik's garden. Well done, everybody. Epilogue. Solving the puzzle has given you a huge boost. In fact, you've never felt more sane. It now seems unlikely that you are infected with Tulip-mania of 1637. But if that's true, then perhaps nobody else will invest either. And that means the bubble economy in tulips might not even start. The financial world is full of this kind of second guessing and false starts. Never mind. The next time you buy flowers, spare a thought for the tulips that sold for $500,000.